Hi everyone, today we're going to have some fun. I'm going to be working with stencils. I'm going to do 4 backgrounds. So the first one I'm going to do chalky paints. The second one I'm going to just do the stencil using a blending brush. Third one I'm going to stipple. And the last one is just going to be a multicolor. So just different ways to show you how you can use your stencils and how you can change them up. So if I move some of these out the way, and we'll start with the dirtiest one first. Get that one out the way. I've got the chalky paints from Sentimentally Yours. The first one is Ocean Mist, and then this one is Petrol Blue. I don't know which one I'm going to use yet. Now you can use these on their own. You don't have to mix anything else with them if you don't want to, but I like to mix a tiny bit of texture paste with mine. And this is from Dale Rowney, and I most probably got this at Hobbycraft in Bath. So that just makes it a little bit more substantial and a tiny bit gritty. But as I say, you don't have to use that if you don't want to. For this technique, you're going to need a spatula. I've got a tiny piece of cardstock. I'm not even measuring those. Stencil that I'm going to be using for this one is the Extravagance Slender Stencil. I'm going to take this one out. Now I'm not going to worry about taping my stencil down, but if you're new to stenciling, I would run some tape all the way down the edges. Now with the tiny pots of paints, you need to give them a really good shake up. And then you usually find that you get quite a nice amount just in the lid. Just drop that on there. Let's get rid of that. If I take in my texture paste, as I say, you don't have to use this. I'm just going to pop what I think should be enough on my glass mat. Now never mix your texture paste in your paints, and all I'm going to do is from the lid, I'm not even going to go into the jar. I'm just going to take some of that colour, pop that on the top. Might just take a little bit more, and we're just going to give that a good mix around. Now this will make this go slightly lighter. What it's actually doing is giving us a nice texture. Hold my stencil with one hand, and I just run this across. Try and get some nice even strokes. And I think we might just have enough. And that's all there is to it. I'm going to give this a wipe off. Pop my lid back on my paints. And now when I remove my stencil, we've got this really, really beautiful border. And can you see the dimension using the texture paste? Absolutely beautiful. Now that will take a while to dry, so I'm going to pop that to one side. I am going to clean off my stencil straight away, because texture paste and your chalky paints dry quite hard, so it will come off. They're water-based, but why make work for yourself? Just when you're cleaning your stencils as well, another tip is always do it on a paper mat, and then that way you won't it doesn't muck up your glass mat. Just pop that, and I will most probably pop that one in the sink later in some hot soapy water. So that's our first one done. Now with this that's on the glass mat, I really don't want to waste that, so I'm going to activate that with some water, and I'm going to add quite a lot of water to that. I'm going to take in a small tiny piece of cardstock, and I'm just going to move that around. This is a spare piece of cardstock which I'm just going to get some colour and blobs of texture on there, and that will give me another background. Just saves wasting products. So there we go, we've got another background for another card. Pop that one over there to dry. Now I can clean this mess up. There we go, so that one's all cleaned up. For the second one, this is a similar image. This again is by Sentimentally Yours, and this is the Machination Slender Stencil. I'm going to use this one. And I've got another piece of cardstock, which I'm going to, you can see I've been using this one. I did tape this one down actually. We don't need our blue for this now. I'm just going to pop this one down roughly in the center like so, and I'm going to tape that one down. And just pop a bit of tape at the top as well. There we go. And for this one, I'm going to do this in yellows. So I've got the fossilized amber, the squeezed lemonade, and this is a greeny colour, but it's very light. This is the old paper. So I'm going to start with the lightest one. And I'm just going to pull out a few areas, not really worrying where I go or how much of it I fill in. So that's that one done. I'm then going to take in the squeezed lemonade. And I'm going to do exactly the same with the squeezed lemonade. I'm just going to go in different areas. Pop a tiny bit up there, you choose. And don't worry if you go over the old paper. And then I'm going to take in the fossilized amber. And I'm just going to fill in all those areas where I've got no ink. And again, don't worry about going over the previous colours. A tiny bit there, a bit there, and a tiny bit there. Just gonna go down the bottom there. So that's using your blending brushes. So that's another technique. Now if I remove this, obviously when I chop the top and bottom off, we've got this really beautiful stenciled panel per card. So just pop that one to one side. I'm going to pop that stencil over there. I'll clean that one up afterwards. The next one I wanted to do, I've got this stencil which I haven't got a clue where it come from, but I'm going to pop this one down, and again I'm going to take this one down, and this time I'm going to stipple this one. I'm going to take my stipple brush and I'm just going to stipple all over the stencil. Now it does take a bit longer to do it this way, but the effect is amazing. You don't need to worry too much, don't need to get it all exactly the same. Just stipple there. Just try and make sure that you've got, even if it's just a tiny bit of ink, right up to the lines in the stencil. So can you see how nice and soft this is looking? It's a bit boring watching me stipple, but I need to do the whole thing. Nearly there. So that was in the bundled sage, in the distress oxides. Now if I take a stencil off again and pop that one over there, clean that one up again in a minute. Can you see the difference now with this background in comparison to this background? This one's solid and this one's a lot softer, but we haven't lost the design. So that was the stippling with the bundled sage. And the last one that I want to do is just a multi. I want to use one colour but multicolours within the same colour family. There we go. And I thought with this one I would do pinks. So I've got the warm lipstick, quiche flamingo, spun sugar and saltwater taffy. So the lightest colour is the spun sugar, and I think we'll stipple this one. So I'm just going to stipple in a few areas, not really thinking about it, I'm just doing it. So we could do that big one there, as long as there's some roughly all over the page. I might do those few little ones just there. There we go. So that's the spun sugar, which we've stippled. The next one is the quiche flamingo. I'm going to hold this down, and this time I am going to blend. And I'm going to try and get that so that we've got, it's not totally solid, so that we've got a bit of a lightness going on at the top. I'm going to do the same with that one. There we go. We could come down here with this one. There's that one. So we've got 3. Could do a couple of these on the bottom. One, 2, 3, 4, and maybe that one up in the corner just to balance that up. So that was the quiche flamingo. I would say the next lightest colour is the saltwater taffy. And we're now going to go in that centre one. Like so. And I'm not worrying about leaving tiny whiter areas. I'm just going to do a couple there. I need to balance this out because I've only got one colour left. I go on that one there. So this is all going to be, going to go in this one. So that's giving us 3 up in that corner. And I may go on that one as well. And maybe up in that corner there. And down in this little area here. And the very last colour is the warm lipstick. Now with the warm lipstick, I am just going to go all the way over those open spaces. I'm not worrying if it goes on any of the other previously done circles. I mean, obviously I don't want to cover them completely, but if you get a little bit on them, it's not a problem. Just all adds to the look. So there's those. Now if you wanted to use your stipple brushes for this and go around in a circle, they're a lot smaller, so that's easier. But I'm quite used to doing this, so it's not really a problem for me. And just go in. The tip, if you're doing small areas, is go around in circles on the tip rather than flat. And there's that one. And I think we've got just one tiny one there. And if I just have a quick look, yeah, we've covered all them. So that was the warm lipstick. And if I remove the stencil from this one, how beautiful is that background? Absolutely stunning. So you can see that this one's got some darker on it. This one's got a lighter edge. These have been stippled. I just think that's really beautiful background. So if I take in all the backgrounds that I've done, just clean that up. So if we take in the first one, this is the Extravagance Slender Stencil. Now this is still wet. This is going to take a good half an hour, I would think. But that's going to make a stunning border on a card. The next one we do the Machination Slender Stencil, and that was the one where we just blended different colours. The third one is still mucky, but that was this pretty one where we stippled. And the last one, the spotty one, which I need to go and clean all them, is this one. But how different do they all look? This one is blended with different colours. This one is just stippled, looks very soft. This one we've got all the same colour family and they're all mingling into each other. And I absolutely love the chalky paints with the texture paste. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed my little video. It was just having a play day, trying to make some backgrounds. I will use these and make cards with them at some point. Well, thank you for watching, and until the next time, bye for now.